Hey, Broken World Entertainment, and it looks like the future is not so bright over at Amazon with the Rings of Power. As Dumb and Dumber, oh, I'm so sorry, so sorry. Payne, whatever the hell his name is, and his dumbass buddy, McKay, are apparently getting sidelined. So, rumour Amazon to retool the Rings of Power, sideline current showrunners after first season was more of a failure than they could have been anticipated. Oh my. So, this article comes from Bounding Into Comics, and the rumour comes from Chris Gore, which is in here, so let's get to it. With Amazon's live-action bastardization of Tolkien's Cymral fantasy works having underperformed by practically every metric, which it has, a new rumour suggests that the company will be retooling the Rings of Power for its second season, starting with sidelining its current showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, aka Dumb and Dumber. Word of this apparent shake-up was first suggested by noted film critic, industry insider and Film Threat founder Chris Gore during an appearance on Midnight's Edge in the morning. So he got asked on there, has he heard anything, basically? And he started replying with, oh no. In fact, Gore said not only were his industry contacts unimpressed with season 1, but the reception to it was so generally abysmal that Amazon has set out to course correct for season 2. And he says, quote, I heard from someone who has a connect at Amazon that, if you want to know, that effectively they're going to be retooling. And Payne and McKay are more than likely, they're not going to be publicly fired, but their role will be reduced, potentially just remaining in the writer's room. But my understanding is they're looking for more experienced showrunners. And he adds, to this end, Gore details that Amazon is well aware of the problems, before noting that while there's what they publicly say, there's also what they're actually doing behind the scenes. And that what they're doing behind the scenes is they're freaking out that this was more of a failure than could have been anticipated. We are not shocked in the slightest by this news. Do you know who got sidelined from being the showrunner of series after series after series after being in charge for one season that destroyed an entire franchise? Alex Kurtzman. Yet another bad reboot, reject. He ran Star Trek into the ground with the first season of Star Trek Discovery, and immediately we heard the rumblings that, he was sidelined. They were taking the power away from him. He was basically just being rolled out as the face that runs the place. In the John Cena, that says that. Hate John Cena, by the way. But he was basically only out there to kind of promote the things as it was, because he hasn't been the showrunner of any of the projects since that first season. All these different names were put in charge. I think the Discovery went through like 5 within the first 2 seasons. 5 showrunners. Like Picard was already on its second showrunner before the first season had even premiered, and they're on their 3rd, possibly 4th now with the third season and final season coming. So it sounds like that could be the same thing that's going to happen to them, where they take the creative control away from. Not that it's going to be any better. It's still going to be under Bezos and Amazon, like Jennifer Sulky and whatnot. Who, by the way, had just come out and said, like, oh, it got 100 million people watching, and it's done so fantastic, and we were more than happy, and there was no fuss. Who told you that many people? Oh, they did. The own company looked at their own product and went, yeah, that's fantastic. You can trust us. We say so. So it's still going to be the same disaster. And of course, they're going to have to continue with the disastrous stories that these idiots set up in the first place. But it's basically, it sounds like they're just going to be kind of, you can put a bit of input in, but you're not in control. So sit there, be good boys, and shut the hell up. Oh, it's time to promote. Get out there in front of the cameras and hype this thing up. That's basically what it would be. Do I believe it? I don't see any reason not to, really. They are absolute tools who haven't a clue what they're doing. Let's not forget, they worked on one Star Trek movie and didn't even get credited for it. It was also the worst received Star Trek movie with Star Trek Beyond. They're so talented, they couldn't even get jobs anywhere else. They only got this because they got Jar Jar Abrams to big them up, basically. Go in and put in the good word with Amazon. So, why wouldn't you remove? Oh, you just fire them outright anyway. Of course, they won't do that because it just means, we failed and we're admitting it. It's also been pointed out, if they're true disciples of J.J. Abrams, they probably have the most airtight contracts that you've ever seen, which is why Kurtzman is still at, was he at CBS with Star Trek, because the dickhead who was in charge of CBS at the time, right as he left, gave him a absolute airtight contract that could not be altered. So they won't fire them because it would be them admitting they failed. Sidelining them, just putting them out, is essentially what happened to Alex Kurtzman over at CBS. So, does anyone even care about a season 2? By the time season 2 comes out, no one's going to remember the first season. It'll be the end of 2024, maybe the beginning of 2025 by the time it comes out. It's already being worse of a failure than they anticipated because it's falling out of the charts already. It's down to like 4th or 5th on the Nielsen rating chart. And they all keep putting, it's finally been dethroned by X and X. It's like, it was never at number 1. Because if they had put House of the Dragon in there, it would have been smashed. So keep that in mind. But it's already starting to fall out of the chart. It has the chart like Stranger Things all year round. And it ain't going to do that. And they've only themselves to blame. They essentially did an entire season to give you a font change and the origin of a geological area and volcano. Wow. Idiots. Anyway, let us know in the comments if you believe the rumour. Do you see them righting the wrongs of season 1? Can they save this show? Let us know. I don't think they can. I think it's already dead. And with that, I'll leave it there for this one. Cheers. Catch you in the next one.